Kevin needed someone to cover his client calls. No, his sister wanted free babysitting. No. Each no felt like removing a weight he hadn't realized he was carrying. Then came the test that would define everything. Friday afternoon brought a crisis. The Henderson account, the one James had saved with his emergency presentation, was threatening to leave. Kevin appeared at James's desk, desperate. James, Henderson is furious about the deliverables. They're saying the strategy doesn't match what was promised in the presentation. What strategy did you deliver? I used the framework from the Shun account. I thought it would work. James stared at Kevin. The Shun framework was completely wrong for Henderson's business model. Anyone who understood the client would know that. Henderson needs the Morrison integration model with modified risk assessment protocols. Can you write that up? The client meeting is in 2 hours. No, Kevin blinked. What? No, I won't write it up. Henderson is your client. You presented to them. You handle the crisis, but James, you know their business better than anyone. Then you should have involved me in the strategy development instead of using me as an emergency fix. I don't understand what's gotten into you lately. I understand what's been taken out of me. Years of covering for other people's mistakes. Kevin stood there for a long moment, confused. James had never refused a request, ever. The Henderson account was lost by Monday. Margaret called James into her office again. The Henderson situation is unacceptable. Your refusal to help cost us a major client. Kevin's incompetence cost you a major client. I just refused to fix it for free. That's not how teams work, James. You're right. Teams work by sharing both responsibility and credit. I've been carrying responsibility while others take credit. Margaret's face hardened. I think you need to reconsider your priorities. I have. My priority is doing my job well, not doing everyone else's job for them. We may need to discuss your future here. We may, that afternoon. James received a call from an unknown number. Mr. James? This is Patricia Williams from Davidson and Associates. I understand you handled the Morrison account strategy last year. James's pulse quickened. Davidson and Associates was the biggest consulting firm in the city. I did. We're looking for a senior strategist. Your work on Morrison caught our attention. Would you be interested in discussing an opportunity? The conversation lasted an hour. The offer was substantial, 40% more than his current salary, plus performance bonuses, plus equity in client successes. I should mention, Patricia said, we value consultants who understand their worth and aren't afraid to advocate for themselves. James smiled. I'm learning to do exactly that. 2 weeks later, James submitted his resignation letter. Margaret was shocked. James, this is very sudden. We can discuss a raise, maybe a title change. The time for that discussion was 5 years ago when I started, carrying 3 people's workloads. We value your contributions here. No, you value my compliance. There's a difference. Kevin appeared as James packed his desk. James, I heard you're leaving. This is crazy. We work so well together. We don't work together, Kevin. You delegate and I execute. That's not partnership. I thought we were friends. Friends don't repeatedly take advantage of each other. After Kevin left, James realized something important. Kevin had never asked how he was doing, never inquired about his goals, his challenges, his life outside work. Their entire relationship had been transactional, with James providing everything and Kevin taking everything. 6 months later, James sat in his corner office at Davidson and Associates. The view stretched across the entire downtown district. His team of 8 consultants handled strategic projects for Fortune 500 companies. His assistant knocked. Mr. James? Your 3 p.m. is here. The meeting was with Henderson Corporation. They'd fired Morrison and partners and wanted to discuss a new consulting relationship. Mr. James, said the Henderson CEO, we understand you're the strategist who developed our original expansion plan. We'd like to work with you directly. I'd be happy to discuss that. My minimum engagement is 6 months, and our fee structure reflects the strategic value we provide. We understand. We're looking for quality, not discounts. After the meeting, James walked to his window. The city spread below him like a chessboard. Somewhere in those buildings, other people were probably saying yes to requests they should refuse. carrying burdens that weren't theirs, building other people's success while sacrificing their own. He had been that person for 23 years. Now he was someone else entirely. His phone buzzed. A text from Rebecca. James, I know we haven't talked in a while, but I heard about your new job. Congratulations. I was wondering if you might be able to help me with another loan? James read the message and smiled. Then he deleted it without responding. Some relationships weren't worth maintaining once you understood your own value. A week later, James received an unexpected visitor. Margaret appeared in his lobby, looking uncomfortable. James, I wanted to see how you're doing. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I also wanted to discuss something. We're losing clients and the team is struggling without your support. That sounds challenging. I was wondering if you might consider consulting for us part-time? We could offer competitive rates. James almost laughed. 6 months ago, they'd threatened his job for refusing to work weekends. Now they wanted to pay premium rates for his expertise. I'm fully committed to my current clients. But I appreciate the offer. James, I think I may have undervalued your contributions when you were here. You didn't undervalue them. You took them for granted. After Margaret left, James returned to his work. Real work, strategic consulting that challenged his intellect and paid him accordingly. Projects where his expertise was valued, his time was respected, and his contributions were acknowledged. At 6 p.m., he closed his laptop and prepared to leave. Not because he had nothing else to do, but because he'd learned the profound difference between being indispensable and being irreplaceable. Indispensable people are trapped by others' dependence on their willingness to sacrifice themselves. Irreplaceable people choose their own obligations based on their own values and priorities. That evening, James sat in his new apartment, larger, better located, furnished with things he actually wanted instead of hand-me-downs from people who'd upgraded. His phone was silent. Not because no one needed anything, but because people had learned he wouldn't automatically provide it. The silence no longer felt empty, it felt powerful. A year later, James founded his own consulting firm. His first hire was Sarah, a brilliant analyst who'd been overlooked at Morrison & Partners. His second was Michael, a project manager who'd been undervalued at his previous company. He built a team of people who understood their worth and weren't afraid to demand it. The business grew rapidly. Not through desperation or discounting, but through delivering exceptional value and charging appropriately for it. James's transformation was complete and irreversible. The man who had said yes to everyone had learned the transformative power of selective no's. And in learning to say no to what didn't serve him, he'd found the power to say yes to what truly mattered. His worth had never changed. Only his understanding of it had evolved through painful but necessary experience. That understanding had truly changed everything about his entire life and relationship. Power.